thing for the team chemistry?
Yeah, for sure. Whenever you get a group of guys together, you find things in common, you find things that are different about each other, and you just, build that bond and that team chemistry. So I think it's gonna be good for us.
How do you think the offense is coming along from your viewpoint? Thank you.
Um, it takes time. It's not something that just like happens overnight. I feel like we're getting better every day. We're having good conversations, on how routes are going to be ran and how scheme is seen by both player and coach. So, it's been really good to hash out some things and going against a good defense. So, it's not always easy just going against them and they're really good. So, it's bumps and bruises, but I feel like we're making progress.
CJ, now you've had some time with Christian Kirk during mini camps, and now what have you seen from Kirk as a piece of this offense, being on
Yeah.
page with him?
Christian's always been great. I've been a fan of his since college, and he's been somebody who's put it on tape a bunch and been one of the best receivers in the league for a minute now. So I think our chemistry is being seen every day. We've been not just close on the field but off as well, just having conversations on how we look at scheme and routes and whatnot. So I think he's going to be great, and he's been that way so far in camp.
CJ, you've known Cade for a long time. Him being a farm boy, like how do you see that manifest itself on and off the field?
He's just a tough guy, So he's just that Ohio tough. That when I moved to Ohio to go to school, they always talked about being tough and being developed. That's kind of just how guys from Ohio State just come out. We're all mentally, physically, and tough, and we're trying to show that we're that way. And I think it kind of comes off naturally for him, just like his background with farming and whatnot. So yeah, he's done incredible things, but he's taken another step with route running, pass catching, and I think that's somewhere where he wanted to take his game up a notch, and he has.
CJ, how challenging has it been to learn this new offense while also leading several new players on the team? And what have you learned about yourself as a quarterback?
Just challenges every year. I don't really look at it as a challenge, more like an opportunity to learn something new about the game of football, and also take the opportunity to help other guys. So I don't really look at it as a challenge, but I don't really look at it as challenging. It's kind of something that you kind of like when you're just playing football, you kind of get used to just learning new schemes and learning new people. So yeah, it's been fun, and I don't know. As a quarterback, I just feel like maybe I'm just starting to feel comfortable. Trying to get better every day. I think I'm really hard on myself, and I think it's a good thing to get better each day. And I think next step for me is taking the guys around me to think the same way, and to get them to buy into what as a team what we're trying to do. So I think that's where I can grow as a quarterback. I would say the people. It's scheme is scheme. It's great. It's timing. That you want to call great plays against great looks, but even in those looks, you got to still make plays with the players, and also, when the looks aren't as great, we got to have our coaches back, to make those plays to run smoothly or just get a positive play. So that's what excites me. Is just this is a really really talented group, and I'm excited to go out there on Sunday with these guys and compete.
You've had some success throwing to guys in the slot, and they brought in some guys who do good work in the slot. What do you like about throwing to receivers lined up in the slot, and do you think that's one of your strengths?
I think it's kind of football. It's like whoever's open, I try to get the ball to. I think I'm good on throwing guys to the outside and inside. I don't really have a preference, so to speak, but we've had great guys in the slot with Steph and Tank, Metch. Now we got C. Kirk, JY. I think our guys are very versatile too. So, I've been just trying to get better in both.
Start to see moments with the offensive line and the guys that are protecting you throughout practice, where they're kind of coming together and having some good moments.
Am I seeing that?
Yeah, are you starting to see that with the five guys?
Yeah, it takes time. Especially the first couple of days you're not no pass, so it's not always easy. And I think that's the best D line in football right now. With just how they're getting off the ball. Two edge guys, Will and Daniil are, crazy athletes, but, they rush together. They rush as a unit. I think it's just making us number better. But, I think you don't want to just continue to, just say the defense is good. You want to start seeing progress and seeing, plays being made. And I think we've seen that these last couple of days. So it's helpful for me to like start going through reads and be able to go through my full progression when the O-line's, picking everything up. And I think they've done a great job of just continue to work and keeping their head up, staying confident, because it's not easy going against those guys every day, and I get that. But, we have trust that our guys are very talented too on the offensive side of the ball.
The physical improvements that you told us about in the offseason that are on display here, how specifically are they helping your game? Thank you. I appreciate it. How has that manifested itself, and how does your arm feel and everything feel against your body?
Oh, yeah, I feel good. I feel fast. I feel strong. I feel healthy. I don't know if I look chubby or look fat, but I feel good. I don't know. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, I feel good, though. Yeah, I'm running fast, so.
You mentioned how you're hard on yourself. Do you view that more as a blessing, or is it something that you have to work with?
It could be both. It could be something that, like, my body language isn't always great. And I think I love winning, man. It's hard when, like, you're not doing what you want to do or things around you aren't great. It's easy to be negative. So my thing is I have to try to be more positive in my body language and things like that. But I've learned this over my years, too. And this little nugget that I got from a pastor was, like, mistakes and failures or even successes can either be a classroom or a coffin. So, like, I can either let it train me and I can learn from it, or I can let it kill me and I can get in a coffin with it and let that mistake, take a course in a negative route. So, for me, I try to make it a classroom as much as possible to where I can learn from it, analyze it, study it, and then move on. And I think that's something that I'm trying to get better at.
You talked about how the defense, of course, is testing the offense. You're such a great defense. In what ways have you seen the other CJ make an impact in Gardner Johnson and what he's brought to the team defensively?
Yeah, he's a different cat. He's a great guy, like wants to be, a locker room guy. He is a locker room guy. Very friendly, very cool. Like me and him meshed well, his first day. I called him. Well, I texted him and, welcomed him on the team and was just excited to have him. And I think it's dope because, he's coming off, a lot of playoff experience and Super Bowl experience. So, like, I think they do nothing but just help us. So, yeah, he's doing a great job of thanks, Aaron. I'm just fine. He's doing a great job of just helping us all around.
We'll go to DJ and then Shelby for the last one.
In terms of playing on script and playing off script, what's kind of like that balance in practice to make sure you're still being as effective and efficient in practice?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like for me, I just try to look at it as the game is like play what I see and let my instincts, like I think I'm a very instinctual player and I'm very thoughtful pre-snap, but once the ball snapped, like try to play with instincts and like feel rotation, feel coverage, and whatever that looks like, and also feel the pocket. So it's a lot to do, but done it for a little minute now, and I'm getting better when it comes to the NFL process of ripping one if one's there, taking two. You can shortcut to 5, go to 5. Like there's things that you do when you just get more mature in the game, and I'm only 23 and I'm still learning a lot. So just trying to get better in those things. So just learning from the times where I should have checked it down instead of running, or should have ran instead of checked it down, or vice versa.
CJ, with you and your mom visiting Texas Children's Hospital, what makes it so important for you and your family to give back to the community together?
That's how we started. So when I was a kid, that's what we did. We gave back every weekend I could remember to the homeless, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, back to school things, and we've always wanted to keep that a thing. And I think it's just not only did that experience I think inspire the kids, but it gave me joy. Just to see like it makes me emotional, but to see them going through so much to still have joy and still be hopeful. For life. And for us, like we're playing this game, it's an important game. It's a blessing, but it's not the biggest thing. I think those things are a lot bigger than throwing a good pass or whatever. Like those things are still important, but like when you're looking at those lives, it doesn't even compare. So I think that not only didn't help them, but it helped me a ton. And we just want to Houston's opened up arms to us as a home, and we want to be able to give it back and do the same thing in California too. So it was a blessing.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. All right.